Hello and welcome to the Banking and Finance series from Maple Covenant, your compass for a better life. In this explainer, we're going to talk about something that can quietly cause a lot of financial stress: overdraft. Okay, so let's get right into it. You've probably wondered, what happens if a payment tries to come out, but there's just no money left in the account? Overdraft protection. It can really seem like a helpful safety net in that moment. But if you don't understand exactly how it works, that safety net can get expensive and fast. So what is overdraft, really? Well, in the simplest terms, it's a service where your bank covers a payment for you when you don't have enough funds. It stops the payment from being declined, which, sounds great, but it's so important to remember this is not free money. It's basically a short-term loan, and the bank is definitely going to charge you for it.
And that's the real catch, isn't it? Because the payment goes through just fine. You might not even have a clue that you've used your overdraft. Oftentimes, the very first sign is an unexpected fee that just pops up on your next bank statement. And that can be a really unwelcome surprise.
This brings us to the real danger of overdraft. Let's actually break down how a tiny little shortfall can quickly snowball into a much, much bigger problem. So overdraft gets dangerous for a few key reasons that all work together. First, you'll often get hit with a high flat fee for every single transaction that pushes you into overdraft. Second, interest starts piling up every single day your account is in the negative. And third, if another small payment comes out while you're overdrawn, you could get hit with another fee. You can see how the costs just stack up so fast. Let's walk through a super common scenario. Just imagine you have a $10 streaming service subscription that you totally forgot about, and it's set to come out today. But when you look at your account, you've only got $5 in there. It's not enough to cover that full $10 charge. Because you have overdraft protection, the bank just steps in and lets that $10 payment go through. So your subscription gets paid, but your account balance is now negative $5. And here's where it gets really costly. Almost right away, the bank adds its overdraft fee, which is often around $5. And on top of that, the interest clock starts ticking on that negative balance. So just like that, your initial $5 shortfall has instantly doubled to a $10 debt. And with daily interest, that number's just going to keep growing every single day until you deposit enough money to bring the balance back above zero. It's a really clear example of how a small gap can become a much larger problem. The crucial takeaway here is this: overdraft doesn't actually fix a cash shortage. All it does is kick the can down the road, and it adds fees and interest, which just makes the original problem that much more expensive to solve. Now, you might be thinking, oh, this would never happen to me. But the truth is, overdraft can be triggered by really simple everyday situations. Let's look at a few common ones. Maybe a utility bill comes out a day before you thought it would. Or a store accidentally charges your card twice. It could even be a small, forgotten account with just a tiny negative balance that just keeps growing from interest. These are really common mistakes. They're not signs of being financially irresponsible. The key is just being aware. So what happens if you decide not to have overdraft protection? This slide shows you the two paths. With overdraft on, your payment goes through, you pay a fee, and your balance goes negative. If overdraft is off, the payment fails or bounces. You might still get charged what's called a non-sufficient funds or NSF fee by your bank, but your balance won't go into the negative. So which one is better? Well, honestly, neither of them are great. A bounced payment can cause its own problems for sure, but a growing overdraft debt can be even worse. The real goal here isn't to pick the lesser of two evils. The goal is to avoid being in this situation altogether. And the good news is you absolutely can. Let's talk about some simple, powerful habits that you can start building to protect your money and, give yourself some peace of mind. These 5 steps right here are your best defense. First, always try to keep a little buffer, even just $50 or $100 in your checking account. Second, really think about turning off overdraft protection if you don't feel you need it. Third, set up low balance alerts through your bank's app. That way you get a heads up when your funds are getting low. Fourth, keep a list of your automatic payments and when they're scheduled to come out. And finally, just get into the habit of looking over your account for 5 minutes every week. These little habits can prevent some very expensive surprises. This brings up a pretty common question. Is there ever a good time to use overdraft? Is it a useful tool or is it just a trap? For most people, especially newcomers who are just getting settled, avoiding overdraft completely is the safest bet. But if you do decide to keep it on your account, you have to treat it with extreme caution. Understand the fees inside and out, use it only for true emergencies, and never, ever think of it as extra money in your account. It's a loan, plain and simple. At the end of the day, managing your daily banking well isn't about complicated math. It's about building calm, consistent habits that give you control and help reduce that financial stress.
So if you take away 3 things from this explainer, let it be these. 1. Overdraft is a high-cost loan. It's not free money. 2. Knowing how it all works is the key to controlling it. And 3. Making a plan to avoid it is one of the best things you can do for your financial peace of mind.
Taking control really starts with awareness. And that's why in our very next explainer, we're going to show you how to read your bank statement like a pro. That way, you can spot any issues like fees or incorrect charges before they turn into bigger problems.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you found this helpful, please save it for later, share it with another newcomer who might find it useful, and be sure to follow us for more practical financial guidance.